What do you think? We're back. Here we are.
See?
In front of our patented, one-of-a-kind black curtain.
And
you only see this here, folks.
And the doubters said
we would never be back.
Yeah, and even when we made our video last week, I said, well, we'll see you soon. And somebody said, soon? What, like in a month or two?
That'll be it. What? But no, here we are.
We appreciate it.
We promise you we'd be back the following week. And
I do have a bone to pick with a gentleman or a gentlewoman named Batman. There's some 4s, and I swear my hair.
It looks fine, folks.
It doesn't look. It looks. If you see it in person, it doesn't look quite the way it looks on. So, Batman.
You don't need to explain yourself.
Well, I'm just a little.
He touched a nerve, and he doesn't like when nerves get touched.
No, who does?
I don't know who does.
But anyway, enough about that.
No, about us. On to the show.
So we're kind of doing the week in review type dealio.
This is a weekly wrap up, and we have a few topics to touch on, talk about, and I guess we'll jump right into it. Start off with the
big Raw show. Now I've had
Monday
some stuff going on. I did not see the Raw show. It was one of those things where
800th episode. So
I know. I'm sorry I missed it, but I guess
I'll lead off. Big things to talk about here were touch real briefly on Adam Lay resigning.
Yeah.
Don't really know what to think about that, but that's not a big deal. Anyway, Orton's first match back, and I gotta tell you, folks, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's the tattoos he has all over his arms now. He's looking kind of buff. Those thunder thighs of his aren't quite nearly as pronounced as they used to be.
Really?
Yes, I think
that's
filled himself out nicely.
So the top has expanded, so the bottom has now just
filled himself out. But no, the big thing about Monday Night Raw was
thunder thighs.
What?
We're not talking about Beth Phoenix here.
We could be. But no, the big thing about Raw was Jericho winning the belt back, and I gotta tell you, for those of you that I think we've touched on this briefly in the past. I love Jericho being the champion. He totally, absolutely 100% deserves it. Me and Scott both agree there's very few people, if any, in the company that work or just have the total package like Jericho does.
Absolutely.
And it's so I loved him winning the belt back. I don't really understand the point of Batista's 8-day title reign. That's kind of odd.
Part of me wonders if it was done so that Punk wouldn't look or feel so bad for being a transitional champion. I thought that maybe when Batista won, I thought we were looking at a series of short reigns. I didn't think Jericho would get it back.
The biggest gripe I have about this whole thing is now a man that's been gone for 3 months, and if you don't know, John Cena's coming back at Survivor Series. I think they've mentioned that once or twice.
What?
Yeah.
John what?
John something. They've mentioned it a couple times. Anyway.
Was he hurt or something?
I think so.
Surgery, maybe?
Perhaps. Anyway, yeah, John Cena, a guy that's been gone for 3 months gets an automatic title shot. And I don't know about you guys, but I think he's probably going to win it, which is sad.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a big return. It's John Cena.
Now, he's been complaining for months about or however long it's been since they started the John Cena Returns clip packages. But tonight, he was like, shut up! I remember this!
It shows how old I am. And how much of a fan I used to be. But anyway, that's the big news from Raw for the week.
So. But your thoughts on the way that Jericho won by pulling that thing off the... That's not a bad thing.
It's not. It's a heel move, but everyone does things like that. Even faces in the past. Triple H would do something like that, and no one would complain about it because he's a good guy. But anyway, that's it for Raw. Now on to ECW. He's got something he wanted to mention. I didn't watch ECW, so
because you hate ECW.
I do.
I just thought it was a good show.
That's it.
No, okay. What did I think? Jack Swagger now, I've hated him, but in a bad way. Like, if you hate Edge, you really like Edge, even though you hate him. Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
You completely threw me off.
You'll be alright.
But I liked Jack Swagger more this week. There's a little promo thing that he did. What was the last match of the night? Finlay and Mark Henry, and I thought it was spectacular. And I'm not. I like Finlay, and Mark Henry. I've never really had much, you know. But that match I thought was really, really great. I thought it made them. They both shone. But I'm kind of wondering what's going on with Finlay though.
Nothing
because
like shoning. That's
well,
when you shone, you shone.
But is Finlay going to be? Is he going to make a heel turn? Because he's now the #1 contender, and we're not going to have 2 pay-per-view babyface matches, are we?
It's possible.
All right.
I don't know what to think of that. Anyway.
But Finlay's always been on the fence, but, you know, his increased use of the shillelagh.
The shillelagh. Shillelagh. Anyway, now on to SmackDown. And
last week's SmackDown, by the way, was dismal.
It was.
I would agree with whoever, somebody commented about that last week after our little video we did. Terrible. And this week was not spectacular.
There's not much to talk about.
Oh,
except for one thing.
Okay. Wait, no. I wanted to mention we didn't see all of it because our local channel
was, good God, they were terrible.
Right.
Honestly, people, they would.
Then there was
every time when they were doing all the intros, that's when they would cut the commercial
mid the thing, and then the actual commercial breaks they would have dead air.
Exactly, it was terrible.
We have this news anchor that was arrested for DUI, and we think they put him behind the controls.
Good old Solar.
So we had we had a drunk that was running the.
So anyway, the biggest thing about SmackDown,
and it was very exciting.
I don't know what everyone else might think about this, but Jeff Hardy is leaning towards possibly turning heel.
Just say it. Just say it. I think it's pretty clear.
It's possible heel turn here. I love this idea. I think that's exactly what he needs to really kickstart his career, you know, really move it upwards again, because it's basically the same exact thing that Edge did. You know, when Edge came back from, you know, being gone for so long, he was a good guy. People loved him, but when he made that big heel turn, that big push for, you know, going crazy for the title, that's when it really hit, and that's when he really hit his stride. And Jeff and Edge are so similar. You know, I think it's a good fit for him. I think it's a good move.
Okay.
Comments? I know you disagree.
I think it's probably good in terms of career-wise and story-wise and whatnot. It'll give him something to do, if nothing else.
I think everyone in the industry needs to try both sides of the equation. You know, they need to try, you know, being a face and being a heel. You know, because it works different ways for different people.
The problem is people want to love him, and they do. But if he's a heel, they might want to stop. They might feel like they can't love him.
Not me.
Well, obviously not you. And in Edge, in Jericho, to me they're a little different because they're.
Well, the thing about that is, if you look at those 2 tag teams, the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian, Matt Hardy and Christian were so similar. They were, you know, kind of the straight, narrow guys in the teams. Jeff and Edge were, you know, the wild ones. They were the crazy ones. And, you know, when all of them split up and went their separate ways, you know, Edge just took off, and Christian, you know, sort of didn't. And I hate to say the same thing about Matt Hardy, but, I mean, let's be honest here, people, you know. Of the 2 of them, Jeff has the most potential to really, you know, take that next step.
Matt is very solid, but
yes.
Jeff is very...
He's got the flash.
Flashy. Good word.
Thank you. So there you go. That's that. And we're running short on time here, so I think we're gonna wrap it up. We
probably gonna make another video right now, and I'll probably put a hat on to hide this horrible recession. Anyway, yeah. So we'll be back, and we'll talk very soon about wrestlers that are new that we haven't talked about yet.
So that's it. That's our wrap up for the first week of November 2008.
Yeah.
See you again.